All right, guys, we got the brand new React 1 Pro Digital. And after we give you guys a little bit of an overview, we're now going to show you how to sight it in. We're not going to lie to you. We're going to be really honest with you. We've had to play with the sight for a little bit because we're just getting familiar, and having buttons on our sight has been kind of new. So we're having to figure out exactly how everything functions and some tricks. So I messed it up pretty good yesterday.
He messed it up a lot.
Just a little. But we now have it dialed, and we know how to reset it for you. So with that being said, we're going to show you how to properly sight in your sight, and then if you mess it up like I did, how you can reset it.
We're going to start with resetting it, though, so that we can show you guys, because it is sighted in. We've gotten it tested out and everything now. So we're going to show you how to reset it. If we go through a situation like what me and Warren did, where we messed it up, it's very difficult to fix it through the process of going through that. So instead, we just reset it, start it from square one.
Which is how it will come out of the box.
Yep. So all you got to do is he's going to click power on and immediately hold the mode and select button. And now let go. You'll see it flash, and outside you can actually see it pretty well from an angle, but you'll see it'll go through every different color there is that is on the LCD screen. So once you get to here, all you got to do is click power again so it powers off, or hold it for a second and then power it off. Okay, so now when we turn this back on, it's going to be right back to factory reset. So click power on. Sorry. We don't need to turn it on yet. We need to do 20 first.
Oh, okay.
So just turn it off. So now that he's turned it off and everything, it's back to a complete factory reset. So now we're ready for square one, start the first step. We've already charged it for 8 hours like they suggest you to do. Now he's going to sight it in at 20 yards before we ever even turn the sight in, or sight on, okay? So you just got to make sure that his sight housing is dialed with the master dial right here, all the way up, because that's what's going to be his 20-yard setting. You good?
Yep.
So now he's ready to shoot 20, and we'll sight it in just like a regular bow. It's pretty simple on this part. Okay. High.
Oh, high.
So now all he's going to do is, we're not moving anything with the React technology at all. It's just the sight housing here. So he's going to use these windages right here to adjust.
Unlock that first.
Yep, and he's going to use this vertical one to go higher or lower. He shot high, so we're going to move it higher. Always follow your arrow.
Should be close. Porks.
On?
Yep.
All right. Okay, so Warren just shot 20. He got it sighted in where it's all proper and everything, and it's shooting dead on. Now, first time we're going to turn this on. So he's going to click power. And you should see when it comes out of the factory box REA, which just means it's the React technology, the version that we're going to use to set it up. Because if you look into it, there's two different ways to actually sight this sight in. We're obviously going to use the React today. Okay, so now that he has that, he's going to click and hold select, or just click select. It says first. Okay, so hold select now. Now it's 20. Okay, so we know 20 is set right. So now click select. Oops, there you go.
Hold select.
Hold select, yep. Now he's going to hold select, and that's going to set our 20-yard pin, basically. So now, physically, if you have to move back or whatever else you have to do, we're good. We have more targets set out. We're going to go to 30 yards now. That's what we're going to set our next pin at, okay? So how we're going to do that is we're going to click.
And the screen will go to first.
Yep, so now we're going to click mode.
To go to second.
And now it's its second pin, so click select. And we're going to dial this with the master dial down to 30 yards. So now he's at 30. Now granted, when he shoots this, it might not be on, so it might be low, high, whatever else, okay? So when he shoots, we'll adjust from there, but we're not going to worry about what that number says right now. All he's doing is he set it to 30. If it's on, that's great. Chances are it probably isn't. So we'll shoot 30, and we'll see where he hits, and we'll adjust it from there, and we'll show you guys how to do that.
A little high.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. Gets a little confusing when you think about it, because technically when you're moving like a regular pin, you shoot high, you move it high, correct? So he's shooting high at 30. That means that he needs to go down with his numbers. So he needs to dial this master knob down to, what do you think, 27, 28?
Yep, so the actual movement will go up.
This whole part's gonna go up.
Try 28.
Okay, so all we're doing, we're still shooting 30 here. We're just trying to compensate to where this pin needs to be, and then we can set that number to 30 once he gets it on and where it needs to be for height. Look good.
Dead center.
Okay, so now the fun part. So he has set it, we're good at 30 now, and it's set at 20, or it says it's at 28. Okay, so we need to switch that number. So what we're gonna do to switch that number is we're gonna hold select. It should flash twice. Okay, now click mode to go lower, and you'll see it'll go to 25, or select to go higher. We need it at 30, so that's where it's at. Now hold select. Okay, now his 30-yard pin is sighted in. It should be sighted in the rest of your distances. So he can scroll that up or down now if he wants to shoot 30, 40, 50, 60, and he's good to go. So what do you want to shoot, 40?
Sure, let's try 40.
So we've put arrows in 20, 30. We've gotten them both sighted in, and now he should be able to dial it to whatever he wants, and he'll be able to hit dead on.
Block target, Nick.
All right, so Warren just shot 30, and we're good. We were on there. He shot 40 now, and he's a little bit high. We were a little confused with this, but with a little research and a little bit of knowledge with how a sight actually works, the further you get out, so we're technically supposed to use a 20-yard setup at first, like we explained to you guys, and then move to 30 yards and set that, and that's going to give us what our pin gap would typically be, all the way out to, say, 60 yards. Okay? So as you go further in your distances, your pins are going to be further and further apart. And if we use a 20-yard and a 30-yard difference there, that's only a small fraction of the amount of information that we need to be able to go out accurately to 60 yards. So,
say if you're an inch high at 30, if it's in the dot but you're an inch high at 30, that could actually be 6 inches high at 60. So you're going to want to use that information, and then that's what we're going to go over now, is how we can change this at 40 without messing up our whole sight.
Yep. So basically what we've just realized is what we're explaining to you guys is Warren's a little high at 40. We need to be able to change that. So the biggest thing that I was confused with was I felt as though when we select second on here, when we sighted in the 30, I felt second was a pin. That's incorrect. So second is basically us calibrating the React technology to be able to do the math for us and get us out to every distance accurately.
So
now,
the further that you can shoot accurately, the more accurate the React system is going to be on that second calibration. Now, I'm sure the reason they want you to shoot 30 first is so that you don't go and launch arrows, 2 feet high or 2 feet low. So that's why they want you to start at 30 and get yourself in the ballpark.
So this is actually pretty easy to do now. So he's high at 40. We're going to do basically exactly what we did at 30. So we're going to hold select.
Do we want to find where it's at first? So scroll it up.
Well, we know it's at 40.
I know, but I'm saying I can find where it is. Like try 38, and then we can move it to 40.
Yeah, yep, that's fine. Okay, so what he's going to do is where we calibrated our numbers earlier, where he dialed the master dial to get us height-wise correct, he's going to do the same thing at 40 now. So he shot a little high at 40. He's going to adjust it, so he moved it down. Technically, the sight housing is going up. So it's reading 38, and we're not going to worry about the number again. We're going to shoot 40, and he's going to get it dead center. And at that point, we'll change the numbers and show you guys how to do that again.
Pretty good height there. Little left.
Let's try it one more.
Yep.
We do have a little bit of wind today, or actually quite a bit of wind today. So I'm not surprised if I don't think either of us would be surprised if he's hitting a little left. But height-wise, we should be hitting pretty good. So we're going to make sure we're dialed perfectly on height.
Yeah.
And you look dead on height-wise, right?
Yeah, I'd say we're...
Okay, so now what we're gonna do, you want to move that around so you can see it? We're gonna do the same thing we did at 30. We just need to adjust, the only thing we need to do is we need to adjust that number to say 40 because that's the distance we're shooting right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold select again. Should see 2 flashes. Now that we do let go, we're gonna click select to go up to 40 and then hold select again and let go. And now his 40-yard pin is sighted in. Okay, so he should be able to, now that we've even made it, we've gone further of a distance to set the React technology, it should be even more accurate. So even if you could do like 50 yards, if you're comfortable doing something like that, and you set that at 50, that's gonna make you just as much more accurate. It's not gonna hurt anything at all. It's just gonna help you. So we suggest do it at 30 like the instructions say. Get it close. When you get out to your 40, 50 yards, whatever you shoot next, use the same second step as we used to change the numbers to be able to change that and make your React technology even more accurate and make sure your 50s and 60s are dead on.
Now we'll shoot 50 just for fun. If you have a buddy or yourself and you want one of these React Pro Digitals, don't forget we got them in our store, shopraisedoutdoors.com. Shameless plug.